I have to say, watching it live, I was brandishing my card at the telly. I know, having watched your verdict post game and read your thoughts, you're not in the he had to go camp, but it was certainly a valid talking point. For those who've not seen it, Joao Pedro is essentially chasing down Christian Walton, who clears the ball. The ball's gone. Pedro is going full pelt at Walton, and this is where you could argue that he's out of control. He leaves his feet, he jumps and clatters sideways on into Walton, who's obviously then flying on the floor, needs treatment, etc., etc. So I think there's certainly an argument that it could have been. What did you make of it?
Yeah, anyone who's watched the video or read my piece knows that I think it was probably the right decision, and I think I'm in the minority here. I can sense people probably listening and watching this with a bit of anger still this morning. I like physical games of football, and I want the sense that two players can go kind of for a 50-50 ball. When you slow it right down, I think it looks worse. But in real time, that there's split seconds involved in this. The ball's run slightly loose. He's given everything to charge it down. I know there will be people that say, and I haven't seen examples of this, but there are a lot of people that say he's got form, Joao Pedro, for this, and that the phrasing from Kieran McKenna was, he knew what he was doing. He left a little bit on the goalkeeper. That may have been the case, but the whole kind of argument about leaving the ground is, if you charge down that ball, I think if you watch it back for the first bit of that sprint, his eyes on the ball the whole way, and then at the last minute is a look up at the goalkeeper, and the first thing you do, if someone's coming at you and you're sort of two people about to collide, it's instinct to turn. Bless you. It's instinct to sort of turn away. If you leave your feet on the floor, that's when people get injured, because then your legs can get in a bit of a tangle and stuff. So you sort of turn and jump and protect yourself. So I might be protecting Mr. Pedro a little bit too much there. But I thought it was a yellow and a half, probably is what it was. We've spent all season saying, Liam Delap's brilliant, isn't he? Like, he's smashing into defenders a second after the ball's gone, and isn't it great to see? We can't have it both ways. So I thought the ref handled it quite well. I thought a yellow card was okay for that. But I know I'm probably in the minority. I've seen kind of social media posts saying like or retweet if you thought it was a yellow or a red, and the majority have been going for red, and that's not just Ipswich fans, that's neutrals as well. But for me, I set my bar quite high for red cards, and that didn't quite meet the threshold. But I don't know. Do you want to come back on that?
I mean, my whole point is, watching it live, I thought it was definitely a question that it could be a red. And as I say, I think what's the definition of being out of control? Out of control is leaving you. He had no control once he left his feet. That was it. He was a flying missile at that point, and could do nothing about what he was going to do. If he stayed on his feet, then he's still within control of his body. So for me, the fact he jumped and he knew he was going to hit Walton, he must have known, added to that argument, because he's as soon as he leaves his feet, as I say, he is out of control. He has no control over where he's going. What did you think of it, Ross? You can be the casting vote then. If I'm leaning towards a red, Stewie's saying firm but fair, yellow card. What are you saying?
Can I be on the fence?
No, you can't.
No. I agree with both your points.
Yeah.
In real time, it just looked like a nasty collision. I was like, oh dear, that doesn't look good. And obviously, I was that end as well, and I just saw, and I was like, oh, you're right, Christian, you're right down there, mate. I think if that turned into a goal, maybe they'll looked at it a bit more. Obviously, when you watch replays, it's in slow-mo, it looks even worse. I know there's a few people saying that Pedro was actually looking at Walton, or his eyes are on him, so I'm going to take, and as you said, he's got form for it before. But no, I don't think it's a red. It was a nasty collision, but I don't think he meant to really hurt him. I think he was just trying to win the ball, and he didn't win the ball. He just basically won Christian Walton. So I'm with Stu. I think it's worthy of yellow, not red.